I don't think about it as being a catcher in a baseball game. I think about a photographer as being a pitcher, and it's a very sort of active process. And I think the most important part about it is realizing that there are so many things about making pictures that you're not wholly conscious or aware of as you're doing them. And in fact, the benefit of making photographs is that you come up with these images that provide evidence of some of those decisions that you might not have been altogether conscious of at the time. So you can reflect on it, and you can learn a little bit more about who you are, how you feel or think about the things that you surround yourself with. Even I think the choice of subject is really interesting, because sometimes when we think we're photographing one thing, we're in fact maybe photographing something else. It seems as though one of the things that I'm very interested in is how we perceive the time, or how we perceive time's passage, and also how does change in the world begin to offer benchmarks for how we perceive time's passage. There's one project that I'm working on that's been almost 10 years now that's called the Daily Post. It's a project in which I put a photograph up on the web every day, and I've been doing it since March of 2002. So in March 2012, coming up next March, it'll be a 10-year anniversary. So we're pushing 3,500 pictures right now. And that's a project that's specifically related to time's passage and the marking of time and the ways in which we rely on different structures to mark time. My advice for that is to try to think about ways in which you can not have an idea of how things should be, but bring things together and allow yourself to be surprised. And then when you find, and this is the only way I can describe it, with collage, and I would work physically, and I recommend, if you can do it, to work physically, because you can just bring things in and out of your field of vision faster than if you're dragging things with a computer. Most of the time when you bring things together, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, no. But then all of a sudden when I bring something together, I would go, whoa, or I'd be like, you know, yes. And I'd be excited, and I think part of that excitement was that I hadn't seen something like that before. It was a discovery. And that would be a good indication that a collage would start to kind of be good. Whenever I find myself saying, you know, this is probably it, I do one more. Or just take it one step further, one step past, to really test it and to always be able to answer that question of, like, when I come back home, what would have happened if I had just stayed a little bit longer? And the weird part about it is that some of the most, I mean, not always, but sometimes some of the most interesting things come from when I've pushed it just a little bit further than I thought I would or should.